Welcome to the magnificently reloaded, rebooted Claus and Convo. I am your host and producer and jack of everything, Striker Chiguire. And it has been way too goddamn long since I last did a show, and you know what, I just got tired of waiting. So welcome back to the show, everyone who is watching on YouTube and live. So, last episode was, that was like forever ago. I'm not even going to try to recall the exact date. And of course, the last episodes that were supposed to be season 2 were meh. They just didn't fit with things, and things were not working, and I just said, screw this. I'm just going to restart from square one. Get the show back to what it was supposed to be in the very beginning. So, I got all this set up. Got the studio computer and everything. Got this nice little pop filter. It's gonna be a good show. Considering I'm not always the best at solo, but I'm gonna do it now because, yeah. So, basically, for those who are not familiar, or at least with the original concept of this show, basically this show is intended to be more of the deeper side of the furry fandom, with a light comical relief. So basically, what we do is we start out with basic furry-related news. That is actually related furry and is actually news. I've got a rant up on my ranting channel, Angry Chiguar. You can check out to really get an idea of what I'm talking about here. But I digress. So, and we do that whole news thing. Then we go into the local events and stuff like fur meets and any cons that I might be going to, or cons that might be relevant to at least the region of Iowa and this whole Midwest area, because of course, that's where I live and that's where I'm familiar with, and that's where the stuff that I go to happens. So, and we do have one announcement regarding a fur meet. So, and we'll also play some videos on YouTube when we don't have a whole lot to talk about. And I've actually got a few lined up to play for today. Which, may end up on the after show because YouTube copyright stuff. And that's why I have to be picky about the kind of music I play in the background, because YouTube copyright claim bullshit isn't exactly working like you kind of expect to. But speaking of music, I have lately picked up a copy of Sub-Level 3's Undercover album. It is a very good album. And, disc 1, mostly really good covers, very well done covers. Disc 2, originals, amazing, very well done. And we'll play a little bit of them on the break. I'll jump to the next life begins now. But, first off, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about pull up on my laptop here. I don't have a whole lot of desk space in front of me, so I have to kind of turn. It's not the most convenient layout, but it works. And I even clicked off the thing. Okay, so October 25th at Felix and Oscar's in Des Moines at 6 p.m. Central Time. There will be a fur meet hosted by Space Weasel and Gina. I forgot her first name, but anyway, I digress. Yeah, Central Iowa Furs gonna have a fur meet once again. October 25th, Saturday, at Felix and Oscar's in Des Moines, around 6 o'clock. And on the Central Iowa Fur Meet Facebook group page, if you haven't gotten on there yet and you're planning to be going to these things, be sure to get on that. Once again, the name of that is Central Iowa Fur Meet. Be sure to get on that Facebook page, and if you don't have Facebook, we'll figure something out. Why? Because there is a Google document, which is basically a spreadsheet. You will want to get your name on there. If you're going, give them contact info. Let them know that if you're going to be eating at the restaurant and fursuiting. That's linked on the Facebook group page. And they're looking for ideas for future meets. So, again, good idea to get on the Facebook group page if you use Facebook. So, and they always do a good job of running a very good meet. And Felix and Oscar's very cool. Staff at Felix and Oscar's is very cool, and it's a good time. So yeah, be sure to be coming out. Right. And yeah, that's the Halloween meet. Right. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and take these here. Is there a limit to how many mods I can have? Apparently there is. I don't know, maybe I have to refresh this page. Refresh! There we go. Maybe. Why is Claus and Convo only use this list 15,000 times? That's troubling. That is very troubling. Anyway, where was I? Alright. So, as I mentioned earlier, there's not a whole lot to be talking about today. I did a whole rant thing about how furry news sites are so very little news and so very much reviews and stuff like that. And it's really, really, honestly, I can't stand that. And things are broken. What? Alright, so that pretty much concludes the news. The news in advance. We don't have a whole lot of those. But for the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and play some videos that I have found on YouTube. Why is that and I've got to clear the playlist because I'm a genius. Right, so go ahead and as I actually do want to talk a little bit about music, since now that this video's kind of gotten me talking about music. So, it's really hard, to find people who are really interested in, at least in the local area, or really interested in, doing something like power metal collaborations. There really are not very many power metal musicians. No, this is not the pre-show. There we go. Here in my area, and there are more or less in front of that button. There's the right button. There's the right button. Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, power metal musicians. In my area, rare power metal musicians who would be interested in joining a furry run band, even less so. So, and honestly, I think I would work so much better in a band with furries, because, I mean, obviously, furries, they're furries. Need I say more? And really, and my honest experience and my opinion based on experience, I've always found it easier to work with other furries on a project, because we've got that common ground. There's no being unnerved by anything. There's no awkwardness there. I mean, we've got something to kind of bring the closeness, and closeness itself is actually something rather important when you're working on a project. You got to be able to really work well and get on the same level, and furries. Working with furries just works. And actually, I need to remember to mute my phone. So phone mute. There we go. I just need to remember to turn that. I don't really know what I'm doing here. Oh. Duh. I haven't had this phone very long. I forgot how to use it. Don't judge me. But yeah. Back to and also a side note, Xandra Frost Wolf sends his regards. He can't be on the show tonight, but as I mentioned earlier, he will make an appearance in a future episode. But speaking of future episode, I can actually. This is something that I can do here. Let's see, Patreon /Strikepaw. I've got this Patreon here that is going to help improve this show by getting some new equipment and keeping the studio computer here up and running, which is really needing an upgrade. I mean, yeah, right now it's working okay, but I'm all out of USB ports, and it needs a few other things, so there's that. Plus, I need another camera so I can have something to point at other people who are coming in the studio to be on the show. And all sorts of different things. And not only that, but it also goes to help keep Strikepaw.com running. And Strikepaw.com is, of course, the site that hosts Claus and Convo's website, as well as many others in the future. The whole hope for it is that I can provide web space for furries or furry-like people who don't have the money to afford an ad-free website. And I've got unlimited storage and unlimited bandwidth, so yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and provide that as an option. I'll get a subdomain and everything on strikepaw.com. That's a thing. But that's another thing that, supporting this Patreon will do. I'll link this in chat as well, before I forget. So, now, meanwhile, I'm trying to work out different rewards and stuff to thank people, but one of the bigger rewards is I'll give you art. I will draw you art at $30. And, maybe you can just do this for 1 month, or maybe continuing support. Either way, if you're canceling it after a month, you'll still get the art. And I'm thinking about making this, if it goes well and if I enjoy it, I'll take the 4 limit of 4 off of there, and I'll just keep doing that. If it turns out to be a fun thing to do for me, anyway. If I can keep up with it, I'll do that. But for now, it's just a limit of 4 people here that can get this $30 level reward. And once again, you don't have to keep it for more than a month. You can cancel this after a month if you don't want to keep doing that. But I'll continue to try to figure out things that I can do as pledge rewards for different levels and stuff. All in all, of course, the main reward is a better show. And another thing this helps to do is, should we get an in-studio co-host, or we have guests who are driving to and from the studio here in Bloomfield, it'll help pay for gas if need be. So, there is another good idea, another good thing that'll come from this. And so patreon.com/Strikepaw. So, back on the subject of music and overall just getting band together, and that sunbeam is just perfectly aligned with my eyes, and it's really helping me see. Right. So, like as I said, it's just so much easier. At least for me, if people I'm working with have something in common, obviously. And it's even more so with furries because, we're a special breed, right? Yeah, but, the ultimate goal, at least for me, is to get this band going that is a furry band. in the case of the members, and not necessarily content, but you know what I'm saying? Alright, so I'm going to go ahead. Well, things are kind of dull here. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Skype line. And just in case anyone is having something on their mind they want to talk about, just go ahead and call in Claus and Convo on Skype. Do that. And we'll just talk about something. Something, anything, whatever. And actually, if you want to give some ideas for actual topics, go forth and do that. And of course, clausandconvo.strikepaw.com. Check out the contact page, and there's a form there if you want to send something in. And now I'm continuing to look for people to come in and guest on the show, either through Skype or in studio. And either way looks good. And that's for the future of the show. I'm really not certain what's going to happen. I know at some point I'm wanting to move to Indianola. If things go really well, and which, I'll still do the show once I get internet hooked up after I move, if I do end up moving, and that's actually closer to more people who would be interested. But in the meantime, I'm sitting here, stuck in Bloomfield, but all that offer remains. If you want to be on the show, come on down. So, and now that I think, maybe this can be sort of a. I realize I've been looking at my secondary monitor instead of the camera. A mistake, a hard habit to break, but what you gonna do? I got a new pop filter. That's nice, right? Distracted. Anyway. So, maybe what this particular episode can be. Let's just talk about things that are, things that make furries, and, could make possible topics for future episodes. So, and I think there are a few things that we kind of covered in the first season of Claus and Convo that I'd kind of like to revisit. Like, what does it mean to be a furry on a personal level, or what defines a furry, and what does the fandom mean to you, and how do we fit in with society? Do furries fit in with society, or do we say, fuck you, society? You're not the boss of me. I'm a strong, independent phantom. I don't need no social norms. Or, and just things like this make for a good, make stuff that makes for a good discussion. Maybe, what does your religious beliefs or lack of religious beliefs play a role in it? And how you are a furry. Maybe another idea would be, parents. Do your parents know? Do your parents get involved? Do your parents care? Or are your parents assholes? These are the questions that make for a good subject of discussion. And this is what the show was intended to be. Was a show of conversation. Deep stuff in a very fun way, hopefully. So, while we're mulling this over, and while I review a request or a friend thing, Facebook. It's useful, even though you hate it. You still use it because it's in some ways useful. Useful enough not to leave it. I guess, I don't know. That's a complete derailment. But yeah, so yeah, this show is just about conversation, in a fun manner. That's what the whole original intent of it was supposed to be. That's at the very core what I wanted this show to be, and that's what this show is intended for. And with all the while keeping the dick jokes at a minimum. As minimum as we can keep them while still being furries. I don't think that's possible, but it's worth a shot, right? Right? So, conversation. That's what it's all about. So, I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of a break here. We're going to, on the break, sub level 3. Disc 2, undercover. I forgot to turn my mic on. Anyway, sub level 3. Buy their music because they're awesome. They play at furry conventions all the time. And really, they kind of set the standard for live performance at a furry convention. So, yeah, definitely worth checking out. And I'll go ahead and turn the Skype back to online. So, right. It's always hard to come back. You think you know what you're going to say, and then you hit the come back to the show button, and it's not flowing, and then, But, anyway. So, yeah, back to what the show's about, It's, we go into the things that matter, whether it's acceptable or not. Yeah, get out here. So, didn't I have something else to do? Yeah, I guess I did. That's right. We did have some videos on YouTube to play. And I'm just going to save those for momentarily later. Not momentary. That's not the right word. Save them for later. And, of course, early in the show, we did show Easy Wolf's documentary of a Fox and Moore's trip to Abbey Road. And it's a really good little short 30-minute documentary. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, so now I kind of want to go into the deeper things. So let's go ahead and let's kind of just start something. I'm just gonna go somewhere and let's just see where this goes. So I say so too much, and yeah. So yeah, I got nothing. Don't you just hate it? Don't you just hate when that happens? You think you know what you're gonna say, and then you take a leak and do other things, and it just melts away. It just vanishes. This is why I don't usually do the show alone if I can help it. But do it anyway. Do it live, because why not? So, yeah, we also went over a fur meet in central Iowa. Felix and Oscars, once more. Felix and Oscars at 6 o'clock on October 25th in Des Moines, Iowa, over by Merle Hay. And we went over the Patreon thing, and we played a part of a YouTube thing, and we played Sub-Level 3. Link in the chat. What else was there? We went over the premise of the show. So, I don't know, I guess I'll just go into something right now. So, what topic shall we have today? Since this is titled Reloaded, or Rebooted, show title, this is technically a reboot, a reloaded reboot of restarting from ground one. Have you ever had to restart some big project that you had really wanted to finish, but you just weren't satisfied with the way it was going, and you just scrapped it and went back to square one? Yeah, that's the thing that happens. You know, if you create things, and you are your own worst critic. And I've been working on a novel, which the name of which has been kind of changing as much as the rest of it has. Chronicles of Brig Blackhaven, and I just restarted it recently for the third, fourth, or fifth time. I stopped counting a long time ago because my own ideas have changed. My exposure to what the world is like has changed. My vantage point, I should say, that's probably a better way to describe it. My vantage point on the world as it is has changed. My understanding of technology, what's possible, and that's sort of what's driven the setting for the novel that I'm working on. I'll just kind of sum up Blackhaven. It basically takes place in a world where there's no real religion, at least not anymore. It died a long time ago. The religion died, not the world. So basically, there was no Dark Ages. There's no one was ever imprisoned for heresy, at least on the main continent with the primary tribes involved. There's the one big island on one side and a bunch of smaller islands and a small, well, I guess it's more one big continent on one side, and a smaller continent, a bunch of islands on the other, which had been cut off in the very early civilizations, to the earlier civilizations, and they kind of went a different way than this other one where most of the civilizations were. So, and they kind of signed this pact that would assure that the Earth was common heritage, it belonged to everyone, ensured that everyone would take care of the Earth, and everyone would have a right to live freely and peacefully. And, that just they did sort of a four rights thing that just set the standard, and then they progressed technology rapidly, and space technology and all of that. So and the technology in this world is basically what I would imagine Earth technology would be like if we were 2,000 years ahead of where we are now, more or less. And with changing technology on Earth, it's really pushed my view of what Pedronia, which is the world this takes place on, really changed my vantage point and kind of shifted my idea of what this world should look like. Not only that, but the characters evolved, they've changed in my mind, and the past iterations just didn't reflect that, and it just wasn't going in the right way, and it seemed like it was going downhill, and I slammed into a wall. That wall that we all run into, old writer's block syndrome. And I said, done. I can't. Nope. No idea where this is going. There's these continuity errors. No. Scrap, delete. Well, I didn't delete, but no, I just started over again. And then with music, I can't ever finish the song because it's just not working. But, maybe, now that I've got sort of the writing juices going with the new rewrite of Black Haven, maybe then I can get going on writing lyrics again. It's been a weak spot for me. But, as far as, podcasting, I've tried a bunch of different things as far as internet broadcasting and podcasting and stuff like that. And, so, try again, try different things, try something new. That doesn't work, try something else. And that's not flowing. Do some other thing and just find out something that works. So, and so here we have Claus and Convo Reloaded. This is another run at a conversation-based webcast podcast thing. So, and it is warm in here. I better not turn the fan on because it'll blow in the mic probably, and I don't have a thing on it. I took these things off because reasons. A little fluffy. Oh. Ah. Throw everything off the desk. Rawr! So, now just to quickly rehash what we went over with earlier in the show. Des Moines, Iowa, October 25th at 6 o'clock at Felix and Oscars. There will be a fur meet. Be sure to check out the Central Iowa Fur Meet group page on Facebook, and you go ahead and mark yourself down on the Google Docs sheet as linked upon the Central Iowa Fur Meet Facebook. My thermostat is not calibrated correctly, so it's either warm or cold. Never in between. I don't even know what to do with that thing. Yeah, as far as furries in LA, I don't really follow stuff that's going on in places other than around the Midwest where I am. So, it's kind of a. But, if you know of things that might be relevant and you'd like me to talk about and announce them, clausandconvo.strikepaw.com, hit the contact page, and just submit that, and I'll squeeze it in an upcoming episode. Bearing in mind that there may be a few weeks in between episodes, and so you want to, if the event's like tomorrow, it's probably not going to get out there. So, planning ahead. Future events, send them in. And, so, as we're kind of winding down the end of the show, we didn't really have any topics set. Just going over the premise of the show itself. Of course, this episode will be on the Strikepaw Studios YouTube channel. So be subscribed to that, as well as, of course, clausandconvo.strikepaw.com. So, and Fluffy Paws is asking if I believe in UFOs. Well, there are things in the sky which I cannot identify all the time. As far as alien, it's unlikely because, alien technology would have shown up on, satellites, or someone would have seen it with a telescope and gotten actual pictures that weren't blurry. Someone would have seen them coming, and it would have been on the news ahead of time. So, probably nothing alien. As far as experimental, maybe. But then again, planes look weird from a distance sometimes. UFOs might be experimental aircraft, could be military, but at the distances, it's it's really hard to nail down exactly if it is extraterrestrial. More likely, it's more likely just a regular plane. It may be an odd-looking model of private aircraft. It could be, and I've seen some weird-looking private planes. So yeah, but again, things. So, what's more? Topics for the show. Go ahead and if you've got something you want to talk about in the next episode, which actually I have to think. When am I going to upload the next episode? Maybe not next week, but definitely the week after that. I'm still thinking about this. So, yeah. But, anyway, if there are things that are, might make for a really good conversation regarding the furry fandom, and you want to be a co-host, you want to be a guest, then be sure to watch Claus and Convo on Twitter for an announcement of the next show. It'll be announced on Twitter for sure. And call in on Skype and be a guest host or something. Talk about stuff. and they'll be about 5 o'clock Central Time on a Friday. Right here on First Stream. So, you're tuning in then. For now, we're going to go ahead and close the main portion of the show, stop recording, and go into an after show where we'll watch some stuff on YouTube. And here's more Sub-Level 3.
You're where you want to be, and you're doing what you want to do in your mind.
I've realized in pain I'm not the someone said. Forgive me for what I've done. I've lived my life afraid. This love that's understood is only something fake. I need to go away to a place where love